Who's that girl? It's Tanika's world. It's Tanika's world. Tanika's world.
Hey everyone, welcome back to T's Reaction Videos. In today's video, I'm going to be showing 3 different women talking about how they discovered their men were living double lives, like had children, all the above, and how they were shocked about it, thinking they were the only woman until they discovered that. So before we jump into this video, y'all know I like to read a disclaimer. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. I'm not claiming the information shared is true or false. Everything is based on personal opinions, stories, or experiences. Please do your own research and don't take anything here as facts. Now that we have read that disclaimer, y'all know what I like to say. Let's jump right into the video.
Okay, so before I get into this story time, let me just tell y'all a little background story of how I met this monster, okay? Okay, so me and my homegirl decided to go to this bar. We can call her friend one because her name is going to be brought up quite a few times in this story. So me and friend one decided to go to this bar in the year of 2021. And I ended up seeing this guy. He was, you know, like somewhat cute. And so we exchanged numbers. We began talking. We were talking for a few months until I found out that he was a habitual liar. And the town that we were, you know, from, you know, like it's so small. And I was hearing so much about this person. And I was just like, you know, I'm finna pretty much fall back. And so when I fell back, that's exactly what I did. Like, and I did not talk to him for another 2 years. Okay, so within the span of those 2 years, he was in a relationship with a girl. We can call her girl one. And I was in a relationship with the guy, and we can call him guy one. So y'all follow along because it gets real confusing. This is just a little something to add. Once I'm off you, I'm off you. Like, it's very hard to get access to me when I don't want anything to do with you. But in this case, I ended up losing my sister due to her unaliving herself. So this person that I'm referring to as Monster, he decided to send his condolences, and one thing led to another, and that is how he was able to come back into my life after 2.5 years. And I'm not even gonna lie, like, knowing the circumstances, I did allow this monster back into my life when my sister passed, you know, thinking that he was gonna be there for me and stuff like that. So was that a good idea? Hell no. But at the time, did I feel like it was a good idea? Yes, of course. Friend one was really in a different headspace as me. Like, my head was super foggy. You know, if you've ever experienced death, then you know. And like, the whole time, friend one was telling me like something don't feel right. This man came back too quick. He's doing this, he's buying you that, he's taking you there, he's taking you here. Like off the dribble, friend one was just not going for it. But I want y'all to keep up, mind y'all, this is 2.5 years later after dealing with him in 2021. Assuming everything happened for a reason, I ended up getting pregnant within a 2-month span. And before y'all say, oh girl, you just went and jumped into bed with him, to the clinic he went. And from the second that he found out that his child was literally growing inside of me, that's when everything changed. Like, I didn't even know whether I was going or coming. Like, everything changed.
I became pregnant with this person's child. That's when everything started changing. And in this moment is where I had the gut feeling that something is going on, because I don't even believe that it was an argument or a disagreement. As you can see, that he's just nonchalantly throwing things around. Like, I don't even think it was an argument, but he had to do something to leave to go be with the other person. And I knew nothing. I was just going through my high-risk pregnancy. As you can see, my blood pressure was 104/99. Like, it was just that period. As I said before, this person was living a double life. It wasn't until recently I found out.
And before anybody else say it, you had to know something. You had to have a gut feeling or something. You're absolutely right. I did have that gut feeling, that woman intuition feeling. But like I said, it was downplayed by this monster. And I'm not even going to get into the infidelity while I was pregnant with different women. But I will insert a few pictures. But like I said, I'm not getting into it. You know, you can pause the video and read it for yourself. But just mind y'all, keep in mind, I'm pregnant at the house, and this monster would just, yeah. But just so we're on the same page, you have me, you have the monster, you have friend one, you have girl one, and you have guy one. Just so we're on the same page, because like I said, it do get confusing. Now I'm finna get into the actual me finding out that this man was living a double life. If you want to know if your partner is living in a double life, the first time that I would say, if they will leave and don't come back for a couple of days. I can't really speak for everybody else, but I'd assume that it would be kind of hard to, you know, be in two places at once. So once that person start leaving for a couple of days and coming back, or starting an argument just to leave, that's a red flag. And another thing, this person became very, very abusive, and that is another red flag. It was always, oh, that girl done out there done made you mad in the street, so now you finna come here and try to take your anger out on me. Every time. While being pregnant. And after. But here's where things get a little crazy. During my pregnancy, this monster had some kind of infatuation or some type of whatever with girl one. But of course, I had no idea. Ladies, listen, let me let y'all in on a little tip. If a guy ever try to put you against another woman just to make you hate this other woman, or just to keep you away from this other woman, just so y'all can block each other and have no contact, 9 times out of 10, he's messing with that other woman. This monster, he did work on the road, but he did promise me, like, you know, after we have our child, you know, I'm not gonna get back on the road. But suddenly, when our child was 4 weeks old, he decided that he wanted to get back on the road randomly. And when I say randomly, he did not tell me until maybe 2 weeks before he was about to leave. He said he wanted to surprise me. And maybe he thought that that was an accomplishment for him. But for me, I was looking at it as like, I already have a child, and you're talking about leaving me here with a newborn to do everything for. So it's kind of hard for me to be happy for you, but to each his own. Let's get a regular job. Like, I already knew it was not making sense, because why would you want to get on the road? And at the time, like, you can sign a 3-month contract or whatever contract. I know he did a 3-month contract, and like, what? You don't, wait, what? So this is his page right here. And as you can see, he does the little traveling job, and everything that I say corresponds with videos, pictures, text messages. Like, I have no reason to lie. And if it's a picture that he took, it's a picture of her being super young. But me being the person that I am, that I was, you know, I'm still trying to support your decision. Do whatever you got to do, because like I said, at this time, I still knew nothing. But this is where it gets crazy. Mind you, this monster is miles and miles and miles away from me. 2 weeks after he left, he ended up going live, and a mutual friend had screen recorded the live video and sent it to me. In the live video, he was just basically drinking and listening to music with, you know, other co-workers, saying how single he was and how it feels good to be out, you know, gyrating all over the place, just going crazy. And it kind of caught me off guard, because like, when did this happen? In particular person that had came about in the midst of a conversation with a mutual friend, and Monster's name ended up coming up. So more of the story, because I really don't want this video to be long. This particular person said that her and Monster had been in a relationship, or had been talking, have been communicating for months. If my child is 4 months, about to be 4 months, not even 4 months, when, how, where did all this happen?
Okay, part 2 on how I found out the guy I was dating was living a double life. So at this point, we had come back from our holiday, and Sis was on cloud 9, was so excited. He was supposed to meet my friends that night for my birthday. And we get to the airport, and his girlfriend comes to the airport, jumps onto him, and literally hugs him so tight and surprises him at the airport. And then they leave together. I like literally run off. So anyway, I have like the worst day, week, month of my entire life. And I get one of my friends to pick me up, literally bawling my eyes out on the drive home. And when I get home, he's obviously rung me a couple times, tried to explain himself. I've got all my friends and my mum sitting around my flat trying to like console me, all of us trying to piece together what the fuck just happened. And he's ringing me, and I answer the phone in front of everyone, and he's trying to explain what happened, but he can't. He just says he's sorry. So I just told him to leave me alone, never speak to me again, and just like get out of my life. Basically, I didn't want to speak to him, but I couldn't make sense of what had happened. So me and my friends sat on my sofa, and my girls are like FBI agents. They sat there and they researched everything. And what they found out through his Facebooks, we found out that he lied. He told us he had 1 kid. He actually had 4 kids with 3 different baby moms. And my friend was able to see who all the baby moms were through Facebook, from friends commenting on photos and things like that. So not only has this man lied to me, and he actually has a full-on girlfriend while dating me, we know who each of these baby moms are. We can see their profiles, we can see what they look like. So at this point, I'm going insane. I am literally like, who the fuck have I been dating for the past 4.5 months? This makes absolutely no sense. Like, I was just in shock horror because it just didn't make any sense to me. And then I kept saying to my friends, you know, I'm going to unblock him because I need to understand what's happening. And I don't want to ring him, but I'm going to leave it unblocked in case he rings me. And I shit you not, guys. It's like sis spoke that shit into existence, because as soon as I said that and I unblocked him, he rang me like 20 minutes to 30 minutes later. And my friends were there at the same time. So then I literally answer the phone. And the first thing I say is, how many kids do you have? And my guy just fully sighed and was like, okay, let me explain. And not only does he have a girlfriend and lied about how many kids he has, he also is in family court fighting to see his kids. Was that? No, because of course, that's not the end of the story. 4 weeks later from the incident that happened, we had actually planned a massive event where it was all of his friends, all of my friends, a big, massive group of us to celebrate his birthday. But do you think that was the end of the story? No, it fucking wasn't.
Welcome back to part 2 of my wildest dating stories. When I say wild dating stories, I'm not sat here talking about, oh my god, like he was playing me and another girl at the same time. No. I'm talking finding the worst possible men on the planet and falling in love with them. I think we'll call this series Makeup and Trauma Dumping. It's very fitting. Let's just jump straight in. So a lot of the guys that I meet are usually from like being in work. So let me give you a little backstory. My day-to-day job is in a makeup shop in like a shopping centre, which means security guards. And sometimes, not always, the security guards are cute. And where I work, you get to know the security guards very quickly because you're just always with them. Anyway, I was in work one day and I noticed there was a new security guard. Now the thing with me is, if I see tattoos, game over, that man's mine. And I'm actually embarrassed at this point because this man was not good looking at all. When I tell you, his nickname was actually Fetty Wap because he had one eye looking straight, the other would be like facing the wall. But I looked past it. So from there, things started going really well. Like, he asked for my number, we started talking. He'd even come in on his day off just to spend my lunch break with me. He was like planning dates, whatever. And before we actually managed to go on a date, I'm a stalker, okay? So I ended up doing a little bit of a social media stalk. I feel like the girls are already gonna know where this is heading. A lot of stuff that wasn't adding up to what he told me. For example, he told me he was 31. He was pushing 40 on his social media, and the age wouldn't have bothered me at all because we all know I love an older man. The lying definitely does bother me, and on top of the age not being what he said it was, also 3 kids that I didn't get told about. One of them was actually, I think, a year or 2 older than me. So imagine the shock that I'm feeling. Sat here scrolling through everything thinking, oh my god, I don't know this man. I just felt like he had a double lie. And look, did a little stalk. I found out a few things that you didn't tell me about. And were you going to tell me you had kids? Why did you lie about your age? You'd probably think that the reaction that he had was, my bad, like you caught me, like, and give me some kind of explanation. Nope, that's not what happened. And instead, I actually got a text saying, if my social media says that I'm older than what I told you, then that's on you. I also got sent, of course I've got kids, I've got tattoos. And I thought, what? And I just thought, where on your tattoos does it say I'm a father of 3? And in my head I'm just thinking, this guy's trying to gaslight me. My fault that I didn't know that he was lying. And just when you think it can't get worse, this man actually forgot the original age that he told me he was. So from the start he'd been telling me he was 31, and then when I called him out and said, you're actually nearly 40, he was like, I'm 32, what are you talking about? I told you I'm 32. I was thinking, 32? Mr. Man, you told me you were 31. I was actually finding his son on Facebook. So his son that I found on Facebook is the one that's like a year or 2 older than me. And whilst I was looking through his Facebook pictures, saw one picture that had his shirt off on, and he had a little tattoo on his chest. What did the tattoo say, you might ask? Dad, and then his birthday underneath. So I already knew his birth month and day. I just wasn't sure about the year. The tattoo confirmed it. The year that me and my friend found out. So now I'm sat here with like all of this evidence to be like, you're a fucking liar. I sent him another message. I was like, look, I know that you're lying to me, we're done. I never actually got a response, and he also never showed his face in work again. I don't quite know what happened, but there was some talk from other security guards. They basically told me that he'd been going round to other shops where underage girls were working and talking to them.
Ooh, these ladies had some stories to tell, whether they were true or false, but they were great stories. With the first girl, her story was definitely insane because she had made a child with this guy, and her and another girl were pregnant at the same time. The girl basically sent her information showing her stomach, and they both was pregnant at the same time. And then the fact he was talking to another chick for the whole 4 months during when her baby was born, because she was like, wait, you've been talking to him 4 months? And she's like, my child is 4 months. So he left her basically with the baby and was with the other chick for the whole 4 months, barely seeing his child. And I feel like that going on the road, basically like she stated, he was on there like, oh, I'm single. That was him to be able to go mingle with other women. And he used that job as an excuse to stay away from her, where she would think like, oh, he's at work, he's working. With she didn't like it because she's like, why do you wait till when I have your child and then want to leave? That's a sure sign right there. When they start running off after you have kids, they don't want to be there anymore because they're like, oh, you got a baby, I'm ready to move around. And there's a lot of guys that's like that, just being honest. Some of them are real fathers. You do have real fathers out there, and then you have some, the minute the chick come up pregnant, they don't want them no more. And I don't understand that at all. And she just went through a lot of stuff. And then to find out, that he's posting and recording videos, oh, I'm single, I'm doing me, like he don't even have a child and supposedly a woman at home, is insane. But we have to look at too, you have to pay attention to the red flags. We all have that bad ignoring red flags because we like a person or love a person. If he was lying to you 2 years prior, when you was dating him, 9 times out of 10 he's still a liar. Like nothing's going to change. Like it might be some people that can really change their ways, and it's some people, it's some people that can change their ways, but most of the time that's who a person really is. So if he was lying to you 2 years prior and wasn't about ish, sis, you shouldn't have took that dude back. So that was a chance you took of taking that guy back and knowing the type of man that he was. The second story with the young lady, her at the airport with her supposed to be boyfriend, and his girlfriend runs up to him and just jumps in his arm, and they just run off in the sunset together like he literally wasn't there with another woman. That's insane. I wouldn't even wanted to talk to him. Like you wouldn't even have nothing to explain to me. Because first of all, when she jumped in your arm, I probably would have tried to knock your head out and be like, who the if it's this jumping all up in your arms? I wouldn't be standing there looking crazy while they run off in the sunset. There's no way. And I'm not a violent person, but just some things I'm just not going to deal with. Okay, so that was a crazy story on her behalf. And then the last one, child, she basically was talking to a PDF file, as they call it. That's basically what she was talking to, where he was talking to underage women and lie about his age. Like he's 31, then he said he's 32, and he literally had kids that were the same age as her. Like, can you imagine finding that out? That, and like she said, she doesn't care about his age, but why lie about your age? And you claim you only had like one kid, and you had like 3 kids. That's just like the second story. He claimed he had one, and he actually had 4 kids by 3 different women. Like, she dodged the bullet, and it's good that she got away from him, because that's not cool. And it's like he go to different shops, like she said they told her, and prey on young girls and lies about his age so he could be with young women. Like that, these stories are crazy. Like you'll be amazed, and a lot of y'all know this. There are so many people out there that live double lives, that people at home that they're thinking that that's their man or woman, literally is not the only man or woman that they are with a lot of times. Like thinking that they are the only family, and that man got a whole nother family on the other side of town that he's been taking care of as well. Y'all, I'm enjoying these reaction videos, doing these stories. Y'all tell me, do you know somebody that's living a double life, or you living a double life? Tell me down in the comment section if you want to. That's it for this video. Bye everybody.